Welcome back. Today we are diving into fascinating take on leadership, one that replaces the traditional captain of the ship model with something more adaptive, modern and inspiring, the lighthouse leadership. Picture this: instead of standing at the helm and directly steering every decisions, the lighthouse leader stands tall, shining a guiding light, helping the team to way forward. To explore this, I'm thrilled to welcome special guest today, Ronnie Bellin. He has shared his perception on the lighthouse leadership that breaks down the lighthouse leadership concept beautifully. Ronnie, thank you for joining us today. Let's get started with the basics.
The pleasure is all mine. I think it was
Thank
great when you reached out to me, and I'm happy to take this conversation with you.
What do you think makes the lighthouse metaphor so powerful for leaders today?
So I have been working as a leader and a manager. More than 20 years actually. In the beginning, I was not having a direct leadership, like being managing people directly, but indirectly, I've been basically leading people all the way. And I have had the opportunity of working with really good bosses. So my boss, I have had a lot of good bosses, and I picked up some of the good things along the way there. And then I realized that actually the lighthouse is a really good metaphor for all of the good things that I picked up with these great persons that I have had the opportunity to work with. So that's why I put together. Yeah, I think it's 9 principles or nine points that are a metaphor for a leadership that I personally strive for and try to get better in. So I'm not saying that lighthouse leadership is the best leadership style for every situation, and I'm not saying that I am excel in every aspect of this, but it's a really great aspiration, I would say. So that's why I'm really glad to be here to talk about it, and I'll see what I can do to try to share my perspective on the different aspects of lighthouse leadership.
Who do you think can benefit most adopting or being guided by the lighthouse leadership? Is it for established leaders of a firm, or interns, or students, or executives already playing significant roles in the firm? Who should really look forward to this approach?
I think it's a great question. I think that anyone who's interested in leadership. Personally, I have a passion for leadership and for developing good leadership. And anyone who shares that passion, or at least shares the interest, can have a look at this metaphor or this framework, if you will, and see what you can pick up from it. And even if you're not, a leader or a manager, then I think it could also be very interesting to look behind these different aspects and try to understand it a little better.
Lighthouse leadership is for anyone who like to make an impact, empower themselves as a leader. It's a leadership guide, a framework to bring the best from others. It's for you if you are just starting your leadership journey or willing to enhance your leadership skills.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to become a leader, then I think this is a good place to start. And then you might end up in situations where some other leadership style is more suitable. And then hopefully this interview or this video can also help you to detect those occasions when maybe a totally different style is actually required. So yeah.
That's an excellent point you have. So before we dive deeper into the lighthouse leadership, let me frame it this way. The lighthouse is a metaphor for leadership where instead of one person driving the ship, everyone is empowered to navigate to a shared destination, the light. Now, as I was going through your article, one idea really stood out. You mentioned that the traditional captain of the ship approach feels outdated in today's world. Why do you think the captain style is no longer fits the new game of leadership?
Yeah, I think in some contexts, you might say that the captain leadership or the commander leadership is outdated. But I think it's more about which situation you are in. in some situations, let's look at the situations where it could actually be great to have a more authoritative leader perhaps, or a more direct leadership. So if we go out at sea to start with, that's, I mean, a context where it's still very, I mean, adequate to act maybe in a more, I mean, direct fashion, and more like the traditional role of a captain, even though at sea many captains have also started to adopt more modern styles of leadership, and I mean, involving their staff and their crew. I have been working at sea myself, so I know that in that situation where you need to make really fast decisions, it's, I mean, it's important to have that kind of clarity, and you can't, I mean, you can't have a matrix organization on a ship. It wouldn't work, because you need to make decisions in seconds. So maybe you need to make a decision about what will happen in 5 seconds from now, compared to when you're in a company and maybe work with strategy. You did make decisions about what's going to happen in 5 years. So it's a huge difference, and the different leadership styles are good for the different situations. I think also when you have a lot of processes and very clear guidelines for how to run your business, like you have on a ship. I mean, there's lots of routines and so on. Then you can use the more direct leadership style, and it's not necessary to have the same kind of, you know, involvement and discussion about things. Also, at sea, you have the safety aspect, and for safety reasons, that's why you have the routines, right? It's also something that calls for maybe a different kind of leadership, and you find these types of contexts or situations also in companies today. So some companies, there's a high degree of, I mean, you need fast decisions. Maybe you're in a turnaround. Okay, you may need to make fast decisions. Maybe you need to be a little more authoritative. Or maybe it's about safety. I mean, a lot of companies work with safety, and you need to follow the routines and so on. So then maybe lighthouse leadership is not the best fit for that purpose.
Would it be fair to say, in the modern world or the age of AI, we need the lighthouse leadership more than ever? As the AI reshapes the world and how we work, the need for leaders who can provide clarity, guidance, and empowerment is getting crucial. Lighthouse leadership seems perfectly suiting this era, where rapid innovations, decentralized decision making, and navigating the uncertainty requires leaders to act so steadily, helping teams stay aligned and focused where there is a constant change everywhere. What are your thoughts, and how do you think this leadership aligns with the demand of AI-driven world?
Yeah, exactly. I think if you look at many of the companies that a lot of us work in today, it's you have very knowledge intensive organizations, and you make very complex decisions. It's not about turning left or right. Most decisions have a lot of different aspects to take in, and therefore it's difficult for one leader to have all of those details in their mind, and therefore you need to have those discussions. You need to have an openness for different perspectives. You need to leverage all the knowledge and the different perspectives that you have in your organization, and that's where lighthouse leadership comes in. You turn it around, right? So instead of putting the captain in center, then the leader can be the lighthouse that supports the organization and provides the circumstances for creating good decisions and acting in a good and efficient way.
Would it be accurate to say that the lighthouse leadership is something similar to the decentralized decision making approach? It seems like the lighthouse leadership analogy emphasizes guiding teams while they are clear about their vision and empowering them to make their own decisions along the way.
I think decentralized decision making is part of lighthouse leadership. So I think it's more that when you need to have decentralized decision making, then you can benefit from Lighthouse leadership, because leading people where in a decentralized organization is different from leading people in a centralized organization. That's the way I see it, at least. So I think Lighthouse leadership is a tool or a set of tools that you can use in an organization where you need to be decentralized, basically.